It's impossible. It's like 100 eyes and 10 frowns that aren't frowns.
Interesting start, isn't it? The footage you're seeing is from a video titled 7. The description doesn't help us either, as it only says, "We couldn't." What's going on here? That's what we will try to discover in this video. This is the mystery behind the Ben 2 For Real channel. The first video is the video that I already showed you in the intro, titled 7, and is 7 minutes long. Interesting? Let's take a look. The video starts off with Ben finishing his base, which is lifted for some reason, almost as if to keep someone or something out. Ben looks around as if he's paranoid that someone is watching him, and then starts to write in his notebook. The same exact sentence I showed you at the start.
It's impossible. It's like 100 eyes and 10 frowns that aren't frowns.
There's no mob like that in vanilla Minecraft, so what could it be? I mean, given his movements at the start, he must have seen at least something. But let's keep watching. Ben then proceeds to make torches before again writing in his notebook.
I feel like I'm falling behind this world. Like, do you feel slower than you should be? But still,
Ben doesn't finish his sentence. Instead, he jumps down, looks around before continuing.
I have to keep moving faster or
And again, he doesn't finish. Instead, he starts to place torches around his base. There's a cut, and we can see that Ben placed a lot of torches around his base. He then, once again, opens his notebook and starts to write.
everything's gonna leave me behind if I stop. Even here where I could get away, there's that thing.
After that, Ben tries to raise his render distance, but it doesn't work. He then continues.
Everything is moving so fast. It's so sharp, so crisp. But life feels fuzzy for me.
He then goes over his notes before stopping at the page which he showed at the start and rewrites almost all of it.
It's impossible to not worry about what's out there.
Before going back up to his base, but then he sees it, a large stone structure with 7 holes in it. Ben stares at it for a bit before finishing his window. Just before the video ends, he types one last time to the same page.
Now, it's impossible to not worry about what's out there now.
The video then ends. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here, but we need to move on to the second video in order to understand more. But before we do, I looked up what can number 7 or 777 mean, as we do see 3 sevens in this video. I always thought that it represents luck, and I wasn't really wrong, but I don't think it really fits this video. let's continue to the second video, which is titled Setting. The video starts off with Ben waking up at night for some reason, but that could just be the lighting. He then proceeds to craft some ladders and climbs up. He looks around and notices something, the torches.
That's not how I placed them.
Before that, they were in a circular shape. Now they are placed in a square-like shape. Like they're more linear, more aligned. Ben goes back down and starts to get ready to leave. But did you see it? He turns around only to see that his bed is gone. Something is already here. Ben doesn't waste time and leaves his base. Before he sets off, he takes some torches and looks at the stone structure for a bit. He then sets his goal to get 3 wall blocks in order to craft a new bed.
I should I should have found sheep by now.
He's right, he should have. I would also like to point out the odd stone generation, where what appears to be a lake was replaced with stone blocks. There are also no hostile mobs inside as well. But let's keep watching.
If they're disappearing,
Ben doesn't continue writing and continues walking. After some time, he finds the same stone structure again, until this happens. Did you catch that? It was there and Ben saw it too. Ben turns around one last time before sprinting away. Some time passes again, and now he's staring at a pyramid? This is also strange. This is a brick pyramid that used to generate in the InfDev version of the game. Why is it here? And Ben seems to be confused too. He walks up to it, breaks a block at the top. He hesitates for a bit before jumping down, and the video ends. Before we move on, let's check the description. It simply says, "It was there, wasn't it?" This doesn't really tell much, as in the video Ben seems to have seen the creature. Let's move on to the next video, which is titled That Night. The video starts off with Ben placing some torches in the pyramid. He then notices a few holes in the cave entrance. He goes into the cave, but it's a dead end. Ben walks up to one of the holes to look around before spotting the entity again. The entity somehow didn't notice him yet. Ben then slightly panicked patches the hole with cobblestone and writes in panic.
it doesn't move when I look at it.
He then proceeds to patch the other holes. And on the one where he entered the pyramid, he stops and looks around for it. It's no longer there anymore.
It rains out there. It rains out there.
As soon as Ben finishes the sentence, the entity starts breaking the bricks of the pyramid. Panicked again, he runs to the only possible spot, the cave, leaving some of his stuff behind. He jumps into the water and starts to swim. At first I thought it was a dead end, but I guess not. Ben then comes out of the water in another cave. After swimming in the darkness for some time, if he swam longer, he would have drowned. He then crests an iron pickaxe and starts mining redstone. I'm not really sure what he needs it for though. He then digs a small tunnel and a hole at the end as a small shelter, with the only light being his two furnaces. Ben writes in his notebook.
It shouldn't be able to do that. Break things.
Ben then crafts a clock, so that's why he needed the redstone. With this, he can at least track time.
Things are changing and I'm scared.
The light from Ben's final furnace goes out, leaving him covered in pitch black darkness. The video ends with someone breaking stone near Ben. It appears that the entity is smart in some way, as it's able to adapt. We also know from Ben that it can move when he watches it. I tried to brighten up the image of the entity by I don't know. I just can't really make out what it exactly is. Let's look at the description. I've heard that sound before. I'm assuming that the sound being referred to is the one that Ben heard before the entity started to break the bricks. Let's continue with the fourth video, which is called Reunion. The video starts off with Ben in the same cave, probably, maybe just at a different level. Remember how we heard a block being broken in the last video? That thing probably broke a block underneath him. Ben looks around for a bit before leaving the cave and seeing the same stone structure, except there are two of them instead of the pyramid. He looks around the second one before seeing someone, not the entity, but a player. Ben's confused. He turns around and both of the structures are gone, and he points it out.
That's new too.
He then starts to follow the player. I'm assuming that Ben knows who he is, but that's just my guess. A strange sound can be heard in the distance. Ben then writes.
I don't know how to tell him.
Before there's a cut, and Ben is looking at a strange house with someone named Archie. They have a conversation in which Ben brings up a new person named L.
It was here last year.
What? Like when we all played over the summer?
I think that's why Elle was so pissed.
There's no way. That all started with a random structure.
Yeah,
Ben wants to apologize for something, but he doesn't. The video then ends. The description says, "Sorry, I don't say much. This is hard to see again." Is this still Ben saying it? I can't really tell. What's interesting is that we learn about a new ability that the entity has, which is the ability to delete structures, just as Ben points out. And then there's the cut, which I'm assuming is a flashback, as Ben's hotbar is different. We are now also introduced to Archie and someone named L. I'm assuming that Ben is following Archie, but what does Ben know that's hard for him to explain to Archie? Is it something about L? Well, we just have to keep watching. With the next video, which is titled, "What the hell did we do?" The video begins with Ben again, but this time he's in a different spot, and just staring at his notes. We then see Archie approach him. They then have a conversation.
Dude. What's up, man?
Hey,
Come on. Hey,
how did you get this far?
Sun Trails, easy footprint. You missed 2 tests and a party. What, man?
L never moved.
What? What do you mean?
Like they never went to Cumberland. They never went anywhere.
Is this a joke? You sound insane.
I checked the town hall records. Yellow pages. I'm straight serious. Did you ever go look at their house?
No, they probably sold it and that's literally trespassing.
You've done worse.
Don't start.
I'm going to send you something.
When was the last time you slept, man?
Just watch it.
We then hear a loud noise from a distance, the same one Ben heard when he was in the pyramid. Ben calls out to Archie and tells him that they need to go. The video then ends. The description says, "It was a year ago. I was trying to move on. It can happen again. I'm not sure what to think." Ben tells Archie that Elle never moved, and apparently he dug through some records. He then sends a video to Archie before being interrupted by the entity. We'll look at the video that Ben sent him, as it's right the next one, titled "We Couldn't." And well, I'm gonna play the video first before adding any comments to it. What in the world is this? The video starts off with I'm assuming Ben looking at a house in the middle of nowhere. The video cuts and he's inside going upstairs. The house is a mess. The footage is also looped. With each loop, the wind gets quieter and quieter before we can hear it anymore. It then cuts back and the beginning is played again, but it's much more distorted, and we can also hear what appears to be the same loud noise that the entity makes. It then cuts to someone in a forest, staring at a notebook. The text says, "We couldn't save them." Before someone types "I," turns to the next page, which I can't really read as it's blurry, but the bottom part might say "L saved them." Someone in the comments pointed out that it might say, "How could we lie? L saved them." Unfortunately, I don't really know what it would say, but this might be the best guess. But this part feels added in. I think it might be Archie, but I'll explain it later in the video. Before we move on, let's look at the description. It reads, "All these layers are searches. All these layers are searches. All these layers are." Interesting, as it does spell out Atlas, but that's all I got. Multiple people in the comments section think the same. Let's move on to the next video, which is titled I. It starts off in a completely different location, and Ben's hotbar is also different, again. This might be another flashback. Ben is holding a book with two simple rules written. You can't speak here and never go left. And we are finally seeing L, but as her username, Xtrig. Both are walking in strange tunnels made out of stone. They walk some time before L breaks a block to look outside and covers it up and continues walking. Ben walks up to it and tries to destroy it, to see what's on the underside, but L stops him, telling him not to do it. But Ben doesn't listen, and breaks it and sees a massive network of tunnels. He covers up the hole and follows L. They reunite, but then they approach a junction where they can only go left or down. Elle goes left, despite her rules, and Ben follows her. They then approach a strange room with a table in the middle and a small hallway. Ben seems to have had enough.
Can you tell me what are we doing here?
Elle doesn't respond.
What is this place even supposed to?
Ben doesn't finish the sentence as Elle just disappears in front of him. Ben's confused before he hears that sound for the first time. He runs before we get a cut, and now we are in the present. Ben and Archie are walking together. Again, stone everywhere, including some ores.
How is that their place?
I don't know, man.
Like it makes no sense they moved last year, and that thing has to be decades old. It's rotting everywhere.
And their eyes were greener. Like,
Yeah, you wouldn't shut the hell up. Sorry.
Archie snaps at Ben, but apologizes.
When did you go and look?
A year ago at first.
And they continue. After some time, they approach the far lands. How long were they walking? They climb up to what appears to be Elle's house, but just made out of stone.
It's so
Similar.
empty. Why did Elle leave?
Archie then questions Ben about Elle.
You were closer, I am right. Should you have known? What was even happening?
I don't know if they had a choice.
What? What do you mean?
I don't know.
The video then ends. I won't drag it this time, as we are nearing the end of this series, with just 2 more videos remaining. The description says, I was really fighty or hostile, when I could have calmed down. I was missing so much. They were missing so much. I'm not sure that this is Ben. The only one that appears to be more hostile, in a way, is Archie, but we have to continue. The next video is called Changes. The video starts off where it ended last time, in the far lands. Ben is making a sort of lava layer. I say layer as I think it's too low to call it a pit. He built this most likely to keep the entity away. Archie then breaks the silence. Ben responds,
There's a corridor here.
where? And goes to Archie.
There's nothing behind the church, right?
Well, I won't call it a church, but sure. Ben walks behind the structure where a wall of the corridor should be, but there's nothing. There's a cut, and Ben is writing again.
It blinded me as I stepped up, so I walked past.
We then get a dialogue between Ben and Archie. I won't drag their conversation, but basically Archie explains his views on the afterlife. Like, what happens after it's all over, after you blink for the last time. What's out there, you know?
It blinded me as I stepped up, so I walked past. And behind me, it flickered. It's impossible. It's like 100 eyes and 10 frowns that aren't frowns.
After they finish talking, they barricade themselves in the house. Archie then asks Ben,
Why did Elle leave?
I I think I did something wrong.
they are then interrupted by the entity. Ben breaks the torches and climbs on a platform. We can then see the entity looking for them. Ben signals to Archie to jump down and go into the corridor. Ben jumps down and Archie follows him. The video ends with them running into the darkness of the corridor. Well, that's interesting. Before we move on to the last video, I just wanted to point out the corridor. They look like those from the video I. Did Ben circle back after running from the entity for the first time? I mean, it could be possible, but I'm still confused as to what happened to Elle. I guess we have to move on to the last video of this series. Oh, I almost forgot. The description says, the sky was like an ocean that day, a flowing storm of deep oozing orange, setting down rivers. I couldn't look away. I couldn't. Is this Ben talking about the conversation he just had with Archie, or is it something else? I would like to also point out that Ben already knew about the corridor that was behind the house. He just didn't tell Archie for some reason. Alright, I won't drag this too long. Let's move on. The last video is called Impossible. The video starts off with that sound again, but this time instead of the entity, we see another flashback. And we can see Ben and Elle having a conversation. in what looks like to be the same place where Archie and Ben were. Elle then asks Ben a pretty strange question. Hypothetically, it's summer 9 p.m. You're walking in the middle of the field, looking at the worst thunderstorm that's ever creeped up on you. There's nothing there, just you and the thunder. What would you do? Before Ben could finish, the flashback cuts off, and we can see Ben and Archie again, this time looking at the same maze of corridors. I should also point out something strange. When Ben opens his notebook, Archie seems to freeze, like completely freeze, as if he was a regular mob in a single-player world. But that shouldn't be possible in a multiplayer world, right? Maybe it's just my eyes playing tricks on me, I don't know. Maybe it's just really me. Ben writes the same rules that Elle gave to him back when Ben first entered this place, with a new additional rule.
Torches on the right.
There's a cut, and we can see them walking through the corridors. Archie stops and throws the book to Ben. They then have a small conversation using the notebook. Is he talking about the rules? Ben doesn't answer. They then start walking again, until they finally arrive at the bottom. There's a cut, and now we are watching Archie's POV. Ben asks Archie the same question Elle asked him. Archie doesn't answer at first, and tries to catch up with Ben, who stares down a corridor on Archie's left.
I'm sorry. Get out.
That sound again, and Ben is gone.
I would dance.
The best way that I can describe this series is two friends facing guilt after their friend passed away. Despite trying everything to help their friend, they didn't succeed. By now, you should have pieced together that the entity is a physical manifestation of guilt itself that's hunting down both Archie and Ben. I also think that the channel is owned by Archie. It was probably Ben's at some point, but the current owner is Archie. The best evidence of it is the channel's description. This was some time ago, but I go back to watch these here and there. It's nice, almost as if Archie tries to find something he missed or just looking back. Also, remember how I mentioned the scene with the notebook in the forest being added in by Archie? It makes sense. The first text says we couldn't save them, with the we being crossed out and then replaced with an I by Archie. Archie couldn't save Ben and Elle. But I still have some questions. What's up with the house video, now counting the notebook section right now? Why is it looping, and why do we see a distorted version of it? I think that it could be Ben revisiting that place sometime after the first visit, or it could be Archie visiting it himself, but I think that that's maybe a little too much. And then there are the stone structures. My guess is that the entity, which is guilt, that reminds him of that day when Elle left for a better place, let's say. These things could be the stone corridors, just in a smaller version. Also, remember what Archie said in the last video? Ben says you didn't see it happen. Archie responds with neither did you, right? What if in the video when L disappeared in front of Ben, what if he saw it happen? Like, actually saw it happen. And when Ben says to Archie, get out, before disappearing, that could very be Ben trying to lure Archie away, as he doesn't want him to see doing it, if you know what I mean. When I was watching the series for the first time, at the end, when Ben disappeared and told Archie to get out, I thought it meant that Ben moved on and accepted it, and Archie didn't. That's why Ben told him to get out of his state. That's why Archie is left there alone. But upon rewatching it, it doesn't make any sense. So before I end this video, here's my take on what actually happened. Ben and Archie are trying to help their friend, who's going through a struggle and ultimately giving up, and Ben saw it happen. Both Archie and Ben felt guilty. Maybe they could have done something more. Unfortunately, Ben feels this guilt the most, trying to run away from it. Ultimately, a year after what happened to Elle, Ben sadly follows her and apologizes to both Archie and Elle. Maybe he could have done something more. Archie ultimately accepts and doesn't run away like Ben did. And that's the story behind the Ben to For Real mystery.